Okay, welcome class, and this is for Art 30, Art 30B. So Art 30A is doing something very different. Art 30B is going to create a more intricate shape building design. So we're going to go into the advanced level here. And okay, so I have this as a reference, my first reference. I drew it, and let me go get the reference. So it's going to be on my layers, and I'm going to bring it up here. Okay, so this is my reference picture I used from this. So basically, I just found the biggest shapes, did a very rough sketch, and kept it very, very simple. You don't need to have extra details. It's just the gist of what I want to create. So if you look down, I just separated everything into geometric shapes, and then just kept it very, very simple. So if you want to try that, do your own shape, please feel free to do so. But yeah, this is a bad sketch. It's not my best, but I just wanted to catch its essence. You know, that's how it works. Not everything has to be extremely detailed. Okay, let me zoom in. There you go. You selected this. Okay, so we're going to start by creating these two shapes. And get to the very center if you can. If you can't, that's okay. I think it's going to be a little bit bigger. Okay. And to make sure it's no fill and have a stroke in there, so let's have a 2. Let's do 2 or 3. Let's do 3. Okay. And again, it doesn't have to fit the exact parameters. Okay, I'm going to bring it down a little bit, and I'm going to get rid of the Smart Guide. So let's go View, Smart Guide, or Control U. So we have an easier way to manage our lines. Okay, and then we're going to create a rectangle. This is the easiest step. Okay, and there you go. Okay, for step 2, we're going to actually select this, and then we're going to join them with our shape builder. So we're going to go over here, shape builder, and hover over any shape until you see this, and you know, the dotted shapes. Looks like a screen, and then we're going to click and drag over these shapes and join them, and that's what you have to do on step 1. And step 2 is, oh, I forgot, we have to duplicate just in case. The reason why we duplicate is just sometimes we make mistakes and we don't want to start over all over again. And you can just hop back to the last step and be able to start from here and not start from scratch. So that's very ideal to have backups, especially when you're working on Illustrator. Just having backups and having backup artboards is really, really helpful. Okay, so let's work from here, let's start here, and then we're going to go to the back. And I did make a mistake, I think. No, I actually fixed it. Okay, so I made a previous mock-up of this, and I made a mistake with the wheels, and I'll talk about it when we get there. Okay, so we're going to click on, we're going to choose scissors, and click on just right here on the path, and then we're going to move on to the anchor point. So what we did there was we cut the section, and we're going to join them by selecting the pen tool on the toolbar, and then select and click on each anchor point, and just to join them, so you don't have to go to like object and join path. You can just easily grab the pen tool and click on the anchor points, and that's way faster, and it's also it's actually the easiest way to join anchor points. Okay, and then next we're going to create the biggest shape. So the biggest shape is going to be this rectangle. Well, not the biggest shape, but the second biggest shape here. And it's okay if you overlap. That's actually ideal. And I'm going to zoom in. And you see there's a lot of shapes happening here, and that's okay. So just follow my steps and you should be fine. Okay, now we're going to create this step right here. So let's select a rectangle still, and let's keep it there. And we're going to create our pill. So let's click on one of the live corners and bring it in and let it go. Now we're going to go to the ellipse tool and make sure you deselect so you won't have any issues overlapping. Okay, press Shift Alt, try to guess where the middle is and bring it out. Okay, that's good. Next, you're going to the rectangle tool. Okay, and we're going to go to the ellipse tool again. So we're going to create 1, 2, 3 circles. Shift Alt or Option. Here you go. Select, select, and repeat. So we're going to deselect, select, and repeat. Okay, there you go. That's good. That's very, very good. Don't join them yet. That's something we don't do for a while. Joining them is going to actually, not joining them, group them, is going to actually be bad for a good reason. Because when you're doing shape builders and you're moving your shapes around, joining them is okay, but you're going to have to ungroup them a few times. So let's just leave it like that and don't group them. Okay, so now we're going to create a rectangle here. So you can make it smaller, you can make it me here, you can start here, but like it can be this size because we're going to stretch it out anyway. So we're going to stretch it out all the way to this section right here. So there. And this is going to help us divide the first shape that we created. So remember the circle and the rectangle, it's going to help us divide that. Okay, we're good here. And we're done on this section. Let's go to the very top. Let's click. Oh, did we? It's interesting. Oh, there you go. Okay, so I have to deselect a few times. Okay, and we might have to modify this on the next step, but that's fine. We don't worry about that until later. And let's create another one. And it's okay if they don't really meet. We're going to fix that anyways. There's going to be an issue with the point here when we cut it in half. So don't worry if it doesn't match up right away. Okay, so we're going to go to the ellipse tool and then we're going to create our second set of wheels. So let's bring it out. Again, if it's not meeting the blue lines, that's completely fine. Just get as close as you can and you will get the same effect. Not everybody's going to get it perfectly. Again, Illustrator is all about practice. We're just practicing. Nothing has to look exactly perfect yet. That's only if you start working in your own portfolio, or do you have a job? If you have a job, that's where you need to worry about getting things looking right. But as a student, we're just practicing. And Illustrator, again, is an intense program. So I understand if not everything looks good the first time. Okay, so let's save. Okay, make sure you save up. And we're going to start modifying on the next step. So let's select our shape and we're going to duplicate again. So we're going to press Alt or Option on your keyboard and then just duplicate it and move it along here. And try to fit it in as best as you can. So it's not too confusing. Okay, so we're going to modify this. And again, with this one, we're going to do that later because I'm going to show you the knife tool. If you're not familiar with that, that's fine. Okay, so before you bring this in, start over here because if you go all the way, let me just show you, click on this side. If you go all the way here, you're not going to be able to bend this. So let's Control Z. Okay, bend this one first. Bring it in. Click. Make sure you have it selected. Bring it in. Okay, now you bring this one in. Okay, good. This one goes too. This one's fine. You can just click on this. And now we have curved these lines. Okay, what else needs to be curved? Again, we need to start at the other corner because we won't be able to curve it if we take this one in first because this one's going to go all the way in. And if you want to go all the way in, that's fine. If you just want to hover over the line, that's good too. Okay, anything else that needs to be curved? This one, I'll just select it with the select tool, select it, and then go to properties, more options, and oh, do I have it here? Okay, let's select it. Let's choose the live corners. Okay, now we get to have the live corners. There you go. So if you don't see them, just deselect and select it again with the selection tool, and then go up one. Okay, good. So it's going to be 0.125 inches. And we're going to do the same here. So let's select this one. And more options. And we're going to go up one. Now everything is in order. So have you noticed that all these lines tend to be this different weight? So we're going to select it all and then pick a stroke that it's going to be even. So now everything's the same weight. You don't have to worry about having thicker and thinner lines, except for this. This is like overlapping lines, so it's fine. We're going to get rid of them anyways. Okay. Anything else we need to modify? I think that's it, yes. And now we're going to go into shape building. Again, if you need a reference, you can grab this photo and you can make it smaller too. I think I'm going to make it smaller and use it as a reference. Yes, I think that's fine. And I'm going to lock it just in case. Okay, so let me zoom in through here just to be more precise, because going Control plus is just going to make large jumps. Okay, so we're going to worry about the wheels. I think the bottom parts of the wheels are going to go out first. Let's select our paths and then go to Toolbar and Shape Builder. Here we're going to get rid of them. So getting rid of them is pressing Alt, click, and you're good. Let's click on this one. And I'm going to get rid of this one because you can see you can still keep it if you want, but I'm going to get rid of it just to show you. There you go. And I'm going to join this one. So I'm going to join this wheel. I'm going to click on the top and then go to the bottom to join them. And the cool thing about building your shapes is you don't have to overlap your shapes. It's already there. Like it's kind of like a puzzle piece with nothing underneath. So that's really, really helpful. Okay, so we're going to join these by pressing and joining these. So this is going to be a little bit more complicated. Yeah, let's do this part because you're going to have some red sections still show up. So let me show you in a bit. Okay, so let me look at the reference again. Totally don't know. Yeah, there you go. Okay, so this is going to join this. Okay, so we're going to select this shape and have our mouse run through, not this section. Okay, run through this section and right here. So there you go. We're going to keep the pillow alone. we're going to leave it alone, and we're going to join whatever's inside the pill shape. Okay, so we're going to go here, click down, around, and join everything. Make sure there's nothing showing up like any red lines. If you do that, you can just press Alt and click to get rid of it, but since there's nothing in there, you should be fine. So let's get rid of this. Let's join them up. There you go. I don't see any red lines. Okay, looks good. Okay, now we're going to move on to this section. Okay, we're going to go in. Good. And zoom out. This is going to join this section here. Okay, so that's pretty easy. I think that's everything. Okay. Now, I think we have to add some components here that are not in the blue lines. Yes, we do. And we're going to have to adjust some things. Okay, so deselect, you select this rectangle, go to your scissors tools, or if you see eraser, just pick on knife, press Alt, click, and then drag. So that's going to create a straight diagonal line. It could go like this if you move it around, but yeah, we're just going to cut it like this. Click on the selection tool and select the top part, and you're going to have your rectangle. Now we're going to move this here, and then we're going to move this here. And if you don't want to have things overlap, you can just select the triangle and then bring it down a little bit, and that should be okay. So what else do we need to do? That looks really good, actually. If you want, let's try something different. Okay, so if you want, you can start from here to this line. So let's press Alt, click, and then drag. Just to practice, it'd be fine. Just so we can have some of the top part show. But if you want to keep it as a triangle, that's great too. Because that was my first change I did on this during my previous designs of the same car. There you go. Okay, so I think that looks more natural. Anything else I need to add? Okay, so I need to add a rectangle and then a line. Okay, so I'm going to show you how to do that. So I'm going to add a rectangle just to have something for the passenger. So let's see. You can overlap if you want. This is going to be an issue. Okay, so when you can't really resize something, you can either stretch it out and then resize, or you can just leave it overlapping. Or if you want, you're having trouble just like going up and down, you're going to start rotating for, no reason. It won't let you resize. You can just press E on your keyboard and you're going to have an easier time moving this around. And let's see. Yeah, I'm having issues. Oh, it's because it's 5. So let's bring it down to 3 sometimes. There you go. That should be fine. Okay, you can make it smaller. It'd be a lot easier for you to fit it in nicely. This doesn't really matter at this point. I'm going to leave it like that. That's good. It doesn't have to be the exact width. It could just be wide enough for it to be separating the windows. Okay, so now we're going to go to the rectangle line segment and we're going to create a line through here. And just click, press Shift, and drag down. And that's good enough. If you want to make the line thicker, feel free to have it 3 points. There you go. Just so it can look uniform with the other lines. Okay. Okay, now we're going to shape build again. So we're going to select our car. You don't have to select everything, but just this area. Shape builder tool and join, zoom in a little bit more, join this section right here. Let's try again. This is a pretty narrow area, so, or maybe we're not overlapping correctly, so that could be it. Yes, we're not overlapping. So let me undo and try again. Let's overlap. That could be it. Let's overlap a little bit more. Sometimes you need to overlap a little bit more to be able to activate shape building. Okay, let's overlap. That should be okay. And I'm just going to select this section, shape build, and overlap. And it's overlapping a little too much. Okay, that's fine. What we can do is, if this gets taken out, we're going to zoom in a little bit more and just bring it up now. There you go, that's better. Bring it up. And let's see, what's the width? If you're having issues with lines not fitting in correctly, just go all the way up. Okay, there you go. Just zoom in as much as you can and go here, just like very slowly. There you go. Zoom in and very slowly fit it in nicely. That happens a lot, especially on Illustrator. I zoom in a lot. And then let's see, I think that looks good. Now we're going to color it. And oh, I forgot the handle. Okay, so let's add it really quickly. Rectangle. I'm just going to move it to the side. Select tool. Select it again. And there you go. Make sure it's 3 points. And let's hover over and bring it in. Okay, and you can make it any size you want. And again, we're going to have to check the points. Okay, there you go. That's perfect. Just make sure it's, well, not any size you want. Just don't make it too big or too small. Okay, now we're going to copy this and move it along. Okay, so I left a color swatch here for you to pick from. This is actually going to help you color in your car. So let's unlock and move it over here. This is pretty good. This is pretty easy. And also just keep in mind, you're not overlapping over anything. That's how Shape Builder works. It turns things into puzzle pieces. So it's going to be all fit in. It's going to fit in all nicely. And if you select one shape and you move it, you can already see the effect it creates. Okay. So what we're going to do is just look at our reference and see what we need to color in. So just go ahead and select your color and press I on your keyboard, or go over here, eyedrop tool, and let's pick on red. And again, if this color's in, that's fine. You can just select it, eyedrop tool, or here on the keyboard, and fill it in. It's fine. And you can select multiple shapes. So let's select this shape, press Shift, select this shape, select the one on the bottom, and here, and you can do it one at a time, so there's no rush. There you go. Perfect. Now we're going to make this black and Shift. These are the only two black areas, so let's click on this. I did miss a couple of gray areas here, so let's click on this eyedrop tool, and this is going to be gray, dark gray. As for these shapes, it's going to be light gray. And this one's going to be dark. So let's select the pill tool, the door handle, and make it a little bit dark so it can stand out. And for the headlights, just go to fill and pick a yellow color. There you go. And that's it for this assignment for Art30B. All right, thank you so much. And please, what you can do is export all of them. So go to File, Export, Export As, use Artboards All, and make sure it's 1 through 4, and export. And it doesn't have to be CMYK, it could be RGBs. Okay, there you go, and that's it. Go a little bit higher. Let's go to 7 and then press OK. And please remember to upload it to your Canvas. There's going to be a section for you to turn in if you're Art30B student. So this is just for Art30B and not for Art30A. All right, thank you so much, and I'll see you next time. Bye.